Hello and welcome to the Habit Harmony Masterclass. Wherever you are in the world, I just want to say a massive thank you for taking the time out of your day to spend it with me. And I also want you to spend time thanking yourself for taking the time out of your busy schedule to focus on personal development and taking time to learn and focus inwards. So, a little bit about me before we start is I'm Lucy. I'm a qualified life coach. I specialize in assisting extraordinary individuals in embracing their inner magic and overcoming challenges related to confidence and self worth. The women that I work with struggle with mindset and the feeling of being just lost. But, and a massive but, they have a desire to radiate even more brilliantly and achieve things they never thought were possible. I help women who are stuck become unstoppable. And I wrote there at the bottom, do you know that feeling when you just know that you're worth more? So, a little bit about me is I have two furry babies. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm sure you've seen them a lot, Marlo and Monty. I'm a vegetarian nearly 2 years now. I love going on adventures. I'm super spontaneous. I love outdoors and I'm always up for new things. And I'm slightly obsessed with candles. The reason I got into coaching was a little bit of a story background is I actually had a relationship breakdown. It was a really long-term relationship, and so after that I just felt so completely lost. I didn't really know who I was, what decisions and how to make them. And I didn't know what I liked, what I disliked, or what my purpose was in the world and which direction I was going to go on. So I sought a life coach. I worked hard through my struggles, set myself goals, and went on my own journey. And it was hand on heart the best investment I've ever made. It's transformed my life, and because it transformed my life so much, it made me take my own course and inspired me to be a coach and help people. I always have had a huge passion for helping people, and I've just always been one of those people that people go to for advice. So, a little bit about tonight. You're going to be learning the 4 rules of habits, habit stacking. You'll be aware of your own habits by the end of this. You'll be motivated to create new habits, and you will see the power of small steps. A Q&A will be, if you've got any questions on tonight's masterclass, then feel free to drop me a message afterwards and we can chat in the DMs and I will answer any outstanding questions that you've got. So, what is a habit? A habit is a routine or behavior that is regularly performed, often without a conscious thought. It is typically acquired through repetition and can be both positive or negative. Habits can be formed intentionally or developed unintentionally over time. So, before I learned all about habits, I used to think of habits, the word itself, I associated with this like a really negative thing. If somebody said to me like, "Oh, I've got like a habit," I would think like it was bad, like biting nails or smoking or drinking, or I would just associate it with a really negative thing, more like I suppose an addiction in a way. Until I learned the magic inside of it, and actually how healthy they are, and how much benefit they can change your life. So that whole point of a habit is that it is formed through the repetition, and then in the end, because of the repetition, it ends up being something that we do subconsciously. So for example, brushing your teeth, we don't go in the morning, go into the bathroom and be like, right, I'm now going to brush my teeth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the toothbrush, I'm going to find some toothpaste, I'm going to put that on there, and I'll probably put a little bit that much on, and then I'm going to run it under water, and then I'm going to brush my teeth. We got taught that as children, and we got taught it so often, and we do it twice a day, that now in our adult life, as soon as we walk into the bathroom in the morning and the evening, you're subconsciously reaching for the things that you need to brush your teeth, and then before you know it, you're brushing your teeth and you're looking in the mirror. You have not thought about the act or how you're going to do it. You've just done it with your brain is just literally in that habit, it's in the motion, and there is the habit that is formed. Another one is putting your shoes on and tying your laces. So we got taught again something as children over and over and over and over again how to tie our laces. We practice, 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 so that now when we put our shoe on, if our laces are undone, we're probably chatting away, doing something really random, whilst in the motion of tying our laces. Again, it is something that is kind of ingrained within us. Um, Locking the door when leaving a house, turning the light on when we enter a dark room, shutting the curtains when we are going to bed, putting our seatbelt on when we get into the car. All of these things, if you're thinking that actually you don't have any habits, you actually have probably more than 10, but we just don't realize that they're habits. It's just something that we do that's ingrained within us, and we just turned a blind eye to it until we actually focus on it. So I want you to imagine these habits that we've created through our lives that really they do benefit us, but some of them don't. If we can be mindful when creating a healthy habit, you can imagine a positive impact that it has on your life. So I've put their habits shape your identity. And this is so, so true. They can be the most powerful things. And I'm hoping that you'll agree with that by the end of this. So if you've got a pen and paper, that would be amazing. So if you've not, you can pause the presentation and grab one, because now I want you to do some writing down of your habits. So I want you to identify your good habits and your bad habits, and just give you some examples of mine to see if you can if it can give you some ideas. So one of mine is that I wake up early and I exercise before work, and I can still honestly not say this without smiling at myself, because if anyone knows me, and I'll be blatantly honest, this is a new habit that I formed this past 6 or 7 months, because I was not a morning person. I was a person that would sleep as long as possible. I would love lying. I would go to bed late. I would stay in bed late. I would then get up as late as I possibly could, with the limited amount of time that it would allow me to get ready and be out the door. I'd be rushing around like a headless chicken. However, I have really worked hard on creating this habit. I set my alarm really early in the week, Monday to Friday, and I exercise before work. Another one is that I meditate every single morning, Monday to Friday, and if I feel like I want to on a Saturday and Sunday, I will do. I journal every single night. When I go to bed, my journal's there. I've been journaling for 5 or 6 years. But this year I've really, really made it more into a habit, and I do it consistently every single night. I also have lemon water first thing in the morning after I did a cleanse this year. This was one of the things that I practiced rather than having a cup of tea. And I actually felt really, really energized after having it, and just felt fresh and ready to start the day. So that is something that I've started to do. My bad habits: slight sugar addiction, which is something that I'm trying to change. Not checking my bank balance, leaving my fuel on empty. I'm in a really bad habit of doing that. I find it the biggest effort to go and get fuel, and I'm that person that will drive on as little amount of miles as possible to try and get to the petrol station in a panic. And sometimes when I'm stressed, I bite skin on my nails, but the way to improve that is try and always have my nails done. So if those will give you some ideas, if you haven't already, write down your 3 bad habits and your 3 good habits. They can be anything. They can be in regards to skincare, they can be in regards to fitness, your wellness, your work, the way that you go about your life and your day to day. And if you're struggling to think of some, think about something that you have done already today, or something that you did yesterday. Have a little run through the day, and think about something that you do every day. So maybe a bad habit is every single day the first thing you have is a cup of coffee on an empty stomach. And you do that every single day, and that is just part of you and your day-to-day life. That is a bad habit. Coffee is caffeine. If you have an empty stomach, it increases your cortisol levels. Can you replace it with something more positive? So have a little think about the things that your own habits are. And this might take you some time, because In fact, if nobody's ever asked you the question before, like I said, the habits are things that we're kind of oblivious to. So this might be the first time that you've ever thought about a habit and what yours are. So now you've got clear on your own habits, it's time to get started on creating and implementing new ones. There are 4 rules to break it down and make it easy. The first one is make it obvious. The second one is make it attractive. The third one is make it easy. And the fourth one is make it satisfying. Habits are so important because they have a huge positive impact on your well-being. It helps you progress in life with goal setting, helps you stay disciplined. Now, these 4 rules that I'm going to go through one by one in a minute, you'll understand the power of creating habits and how much of a positive impact the healthy habits that we choose to create have on our lives in all areas. So the first one is make it obvious. This is all about your cue and habit cues. So habits are often initiated by cues. These cues can be visual, auditory, environmental, or emotional. Making a habit obvious involves designing your environment to highlight these cues, ensuring that they are clear and hard to miss. Over time, consistent exposure to these clear cues lead to automatic behavior, reducing the need for the conscious effort. So I've put there at the bottom, think of a cake. Now, I want you to think about you're trying to create a habit of eating healthy. I'm going to talk about the visual cue at the minute. So I want you to imagine that you've finished a day at work, you're coming into the house, on the dining table there is, for me, would be a piece of Galaxy. It's there. The cue is there. I'm already thinking about the reward. I'm already thinking about the taste. I can see it. I can taste it. I want it. There's the cue. It's obvious. It's right there in front of me when I've got home from work. What are the chances that I'm going to eat that Galaxy? Probably 99%, unless there's some really, really strict reason that I'm not going to eat it. But more than likely, I'm going to eat that Galaxy. And so that is fueling the habit. If it wasn't there, would I have probably ate a Galaxy that day? Not really. And so I want you to think if you're wanting to create the habit of eating healthy, placing your fruit bowl on the table in plain sight or something that you're trying to do, whether it's trying to eat or drink, a glass of water, like throughout the day so that you're hitting your water limit. What is something that you're doing every day that you can have the water there by to make it obvious? Maybe you have an auditory, maybe you have an alarm on your phone, making it obvious, dinging every so often that to remind you on to drink the water. Or maybe you're just placing it somewhere that is really clearly in sight. There was a study that was shown in a work office where they had vending machines and they were filled with like fizzy drinks and healthy stuff. And the amount of people that then had that and how much it affected their working day, as opposed to when they replaced it with water and took away all the healthy things, people were drinking the water and then it was having a positive effect on their day. So if there's water there and nothing else, and you're trying to drink more water, it's there, it's in your face, you're going into the canteen at work, you're seeing the water, you're more than likely going to buy the water. And then that is leading to creating a good habit because the cue is there. The idea is that we're making this an automatic behavior. So over time, if you want one banana a day and every single day you're coming in from work, you see the fruit bowl on the table, you have a banana every single time that you come in from work. Over time, when you've built up that habit, it reduces the need for that effort that you're trying to implement. So the second rule is make it attractive. We tend to adopt behaviors that are praised. The culture that we live in determines the behaviors that are attractive to us. If a behavior gets approval by people we respect, we will see it as attractive. So when we want to build better habits, surround yourself with people who are already doing so. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my story. 2 days a week I work in a corporate job and they eat so healthy. When I first started taking my lunch, I'd always take a Galaxy or some kind of snack for afterwards. And it got so frowned upon that I now find the healthiest snacks possible. I want to be seen and have approval by my working colleagues that I am too eating healthy. And because it's attractive, because it's praised, I'll find a healthy snack, and then you can bet you on those 2 days that I go into work, I am the healthiest person. And this has really made me aware of everything that I'm eating on the days that I'm not in there. So I'm trying to create a healthy habit of having a healthy snack afterwards, and that is purely because that behavior is seen attractive. Imagine if you go into a gym where everybody is working out, working hard, they're getting sweaty. You rock up with a McDonald's, you'll sat at the table, eating a McDonald's. Is that behavior going to get praise? Less likely than if you turn up and you're ready to go in your gym stuff. So what we want to do is we want to be associated in the places and in our environment and surrounding ourselves with the people that are kind of already doing the habit that we want to create. So surrounding ourselves with people that the behavior will be praised. If you're trying to eat healthy or you're trying to stop smoking, would you go into a pub where everyone's having a drink and everyone's smoking? Or you're more than likely to keep repeating that bad habit if you're doing that because it's praised and everyone else is doing it. You want to be surrounding yourself with people that are already doing the habit that you're trying to create, so that you're kind of like a tight knit group and you feel part of the group. If you were, eating really, really bad, and the people that you're surrounding yourself with at work were eating really, really bad so that you fitted in, you're more than likely to be eating cake if everyone's eating cake every single day. So we want to be, when we're trying to create a new healthy habit, we want to be surrounding ourselves with people that are already implementing that. And when we want to stop a bad habit, we want to be reducing the time that we spend with people that are doing that bad habit. So you want your habit to be rewarding and seen as a positive thing. The third rule, make it easy. So human behavior follows the least effort. Your mind will always try to find ways to take the easy way out. So what we want to do is we want to create an environment where it's as easy as possible for the good and make the bad habits impossible. This is one of the things that I love about habits. Like, you're learning this masterclass, and I'm not going to be telling you to go and run a marathon or to stop doing and start doing all these incredible, like, wild things. The beauty about making habits is that this is one of the rules, which is make it easy, which is what we want to hear. Because our brain is wired to always be making up those excuses. You don't wake up every single morning like, right, ready to go. I'm going to smash the day and do this, and this. There's always going to be part of your mind that is like, oh, but the bed is so comfy and it's much easier to stay in bed. And I'll give you a little bit of example about my running journey in regards to this, make it easy. So when I used to want to go for a run, I'd always run 5K. And I'd be like, right, I'm going to run 5K and I'm going to try and do it twice a week. And that'll be my running done for the week. But then I found myself, like, every time it come to the days that I would schedule a run, if it was raining, I wouldn't go. If I was tired, I'd be like, oh, I can't be bothered to run 5K. I feel a bit headachy, I'm not going to run 5K. So I would not go at all. It's that all or nothing mindset, because the goal wasn't just go for a run, it was go for a 5K run. So when we want to make it easy, we want to break it down into small stepping stones so that our brain has less friction and doesn't try to make up all these excuses. So once I discovered this about the habit rule, I told myself now, and still do it, that I'm just going to go for a run. So the habit that I want to create is to run twice a week. It's not about how far I go. The habit is that I want to go for a run. So that if I'm having an off day or if it's raining outside, all I need to do if I want to is run 10 minutes rather than having the goal as 5K. I'm more than likely going to go and just run, and then I'll be successful at that habit and be consistent with that habit because there's less friction and I actually set out to achieve it more frequently. So now I never really run 5K. And if I do, it wasn't intentional. It was always, I'm going to run maybe 3K, see how I'm feeling. If I want to run 5K, if I want to run 10K, then I will. But it's kind of in the moment. When I set out for the run, I'm just setting out for a run. So if you're wanting to read a book, instead of thinking I'm going to read a chapter a day, think about reading 2 pages a day or 5 pages a day. Or maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Those are the days that you read instead of reading every single day. So we want to make it easy so that our brain isn't taking the easy way out, trying to take the easy way out because it's easy enough. So using the 50% rule that I've put there at the bottom is halving everything that you've got that you're trying to create, halve it. So if you're trying to run 5K, run 2.5K. If you're wanting to go to the gym for an hour, just aim to go to the gym for 30 minutes. If you're wanting to start reading 10 pages a day, just read 5 pages a day. And then whatever it is that you wrote that you want to create as your good habit, try and think of it 50% less. We want to make it easy enough that we are able to do it consistently. So this is a really, really good one to remember. And it's a really positive one to remember as well, because obviously we want things to be easy. We don't want that friction. We don't want the hard that comes with it. The fourth and final rule is make it satisfying. Again, another nice one. It's important to make the good habits enjoyable and the bad habits not so. So, giving yourself immediate reward afterwards, tracking your habits and celebrating each time you tick, stop with the all or nothing mindset, and important, have an accountability buddy. So those things are things that I implement every single week. Giving myself an immediate reward. I know that going for a run or doing any form of exercise for me makes me feel so good. It's rewarding. The good endorphins are racing through my body. I feel satisfied. And I track those habits because I journal every single day, which was one of my good habits that I've created. I actually set a goal every single day. I set 3 goals. And then when I do my evening journaling, I'll tick them off. And there is no better satisfying feeling than ticking my goals off at the end of the day. That is something that helps me stay accountable, helps me stay on track, and it helps me stay consistent. I don't want to be going to bed and putting crosses next to each of my goals and my habits that I'm trying to create. Again, what I've just talked about is start with the all or nothing mindset. So it's not a 5K run or a no run. It's not I go to the gym for 2 hours or I don't go at all. It's about where can you meet in the middle? Where can you do the 50% rule so that you're doing something that's less, but you're still doing something? So it's the act of going for a run. It doesn't matter how far I'm going to be running. It's the fact that I've run in the first place. Those are the things that are going to make you consistent. And if you're wanting to do like a running streak of something that you wanted to set out to achieve, if you have one day off, because you're there taking it off and celebrating and tracking, you'll realize when you have a day off, the following day it's really important that you get back on that bandwagon and that trail that you're going on to. We don't want to miss more than 2 days in these habits because that's when we drop off. So the habit should be easy enough that we're creating them. If you're wanting to just read 2 pages, you need to make sure that you're reading those 2 pages consistently. Yeah, you might have 1 night or 2 nights where you don't, but it's really important that you pick them up and carry on reading them after those. I put that at the bottom. Treat yourself. Can you find something, use your imagination to give yourself as a reward after you've done these habits to make you want to do them more? Habit stacking. So this one is really, really important and really, really fun actually, if you can play around with it. So the common cues are time and location. And what is habit stacking? First of all, habit stacking is stacking a new habit that we want to create on top of a habit that's already formed within our subconscious. So earlier I used the example of brushing our teeth, which is something that probably everyone does, that's really deep ingrained within our subconscious. That is a perfect way and a perfect habit to use to use as a base to then stack a new habit that we want to create on top. For example, if you're wanting to do something to do with self-love, or exercise, after I current habit, which is brushing my teeth in the morning, I will implement a new habit. I'll do 5-star jumps. So after I have brushed my teeth in the morning, I'll do 5-star jumps, and then there. So every single day, you've got the time, you've got the location. The time is in the morning after you brush your teeth. The location is in the bathroom where you're brushing your teeth. So you've got the cue, and then you've got the habit there. You can use your imagination and you can create anything. So if you have a lemon water every single day, or you have a cup of tea every single day, or every single day you journal, what can you do that's something that's a habit that you've already created, that you can stack a new habit on top? And then where it can get interesting is you can create and stack as many habits on top of one another as you choose. So let's give you another example. After I've brushed my teeth, I will do 5-star jumps. I'm then going to high five myself in the mirror and practice self love. I'm then going to give myself 5 affirmations to repeat. I'm then going to wash my face with all the nice skincare because I want to get into a routine. And then I'm going to have a glass of water. So you can literally stack as many habits, not all at once, obviously, but once you have mastered that one habit, you've got that as a habit, and then you can add another one. So each time you master that habit, you can add another one. And then before you know it, you're changing your world with these small habit stackings. You can use them for anything. So I want you to think about a goal that you wanted to achieve and then use the habit to create. I'll give you an example of some self-love habits. So I want you to write down now, what is it that you actually want to create? Looking back over your good habits that you wrote down at the beginning, and thinking about how can you actually use all those things that we've just learned, the 4 rules of making it satisfying, making it easy. How can you do that and create this new habit that's going to benefit your life? And then when are you going to start? So maybe it was a fitness goal, maybe it was a work related goal, maybe it was a self love related goal. Maybe your bad habit, like everyone else's, is probably doom scrolling on social media. So we want to make that really difficult to do. So when we're trying to create these good habits, we want to make it easy, we want to make it enjoyable, we want to make it satisfying, all those things. When we're trying to stop a bad habit, we want to do the opposite. So for example, when we've got the doom scrolling, what can you do to make it difficult, to make it not satisfying? Can you limit the screen time by setting a timer on your phone and only allowing yourself certain times to go on it each day? The guy who wrote Atomic Habits, James Clear, he actually, when he was writing the book, he was always going on his phone. And so to make the bad habit stop, he started to tell his PA to set a new password on his phone. And only when he wrote 10 pages or a chapter, he was allowed to know the password on his phone. So he's trying to break that bad habit. So can you limit your screen time? And what can you replace? And what can you have in its place? What positive habit can you have in the place of that bad habit? So thinking about what you want to create. And then it's really important that we write it down when we're going to start. So we're holding ourselves accountable. We can look back at this and we're like, right, actually, we said that from this date, this is when we were going to start creating this habit. So other things are journaling. There are a few ideas there. You've got the journaling. You've got affirmations that I talked about that you can say daily. You can use that habit stacking. So I want you to write a date. From this date, I'm going to start doing this. It's really easy when I'm just going to use that phone one again because obviously it's something that we've all got. But it's really easy to have that as a bad habit because it hits all the habit cues. It's obvious. because it's always there. So as soon as we open our phone, we have probably Instagram, TikTok. They're there on our faces. They're obvious. They're attractive because it releases that quick fake dopamine that we have. So it brings that fake hormone rush in our body because it's showing us things that we think we want to see. It's easy because it's there, it's accessible, it's right in our hand, it's always in our faces, and it's attractive and satisfying. Because, like I said, we get that reward. So we want to try and break that by creating all those things that it can't be. So hiding it from the screen, maybe shutting your phone and drawer. What can you do to stop those bad habits? And what can you do to start creating new ones in the place? So mirror work, that's having a look in the mirror, making eye contact with yourself, looking back at the person, high-fiving. You can have a look at the high-fiving. Mal Robbins' high five habit, which is looking in yourself in the mirror, making eye contact and having that high five with yourself, which is actually proven research to make you feel good because the act of a high five is a positive action. And what we're doing is the brain connects the two together. So we're connecting the positive action of a high five to our own reflection. And it makes us feel good about ourselves. Maybe you want to start pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. So what kind of habits can you create? Like I said, use your imagination. You can come back to this. And the beauty about habits is they can be endless. So you can keep creating new ones. I'm kind of addicted to starting new things, and I'm always on the lookout for something new that I can implement into my daily routine. Maybe it's saying no. A little story here about my client. So my client suffered with a negative mindset and constant comparing that led her to be unhappy in her own life. One of the habits that she created was to journal each night and to give herself 5 compliments. This small step was easy and it helped shift her mindset each day and focus on the good. So she obviously worked with me. She did the Lost to Found program, and inside that program, we discuss habits and what positive habits that she thinks will create. And because she was feeling that low self esteem, the habit was obviously going to be based around feeling better. One of the best things that she could do for herself was schedule that time out of each night to take moments to slow down, pause in the chaos, have that connection with herself to journal. And she came up with giving herself 5 compliments a day to make herself feel good. This was a habit that she created. It made her feel good, and it made her use her imagination for 5 new compliments each day. It boosted her self-esteem, it boosted her confidence, and that is her saying, journaling still really helps me. I find myself doing it more often with everything that's going on. So you can see the positive impact that these small habits have. They really can change your life, and you really can change your life one habit at a time. I want you to think now as some reflection questions. How are your bad habits affecting your life? How is this bad habit impacting my relationship? And what will my life look like in 5 years' time if I don't change my bad habits? So I know that these habits that we created, they're really small and they probably seem insignificant, but actually the whole point of a habit is that you're consistent with it and it has long-term impact. So doing that journaling probably will have a positive impact, but it's going to have a greater impact if I'm doing it every single day in the course of 5 years. It's going to have a really positive impact in 5 years' time. If you practice putting boundaries in place, yes, you'll feel good in the moment, but then in 5 years' time, who are you going to be as a person? How much are you going to be transformed? Or those 5 affirmations, those 5 compliments that you want to give to yourself, yes, you might feel better. You will feel better in the moment. But the long-term impact of saying those affirmations in the next 6 weeks or 6 months, how much more confident are you going to feel? How much more is your self-esteem going to grow? And then again, you can reverse it and flip it on its head by asking how your bad habits are affecting your life. So yeah, that one galaxy that you have every single day because it's on the dining table or it's there in your face might not have that much of an impact on that day. But in 5 years' time or 6 months' time, it's going to have a really negative impact on your health. So really being self-aware of how those bad habits are actually affecting your life. The doom scrolling, for example. Yes, it might seem that we spend 15 minutes every single morning, every single night, and it's not that bad because everybody does it. But really, subconsciously, it's really having a negative effect on our well being. We're stuck in that self comparison, we're detaching from the actual real life world. And in a long period of time, you can see the negative impact that it's actually going to have on your well-being, because more and more people are suffering with mental health problems. More and more people are having the feeling of not feeling good enough and low self-esteem because we're in that chronic comparison, as opposed to the creating a healthy habit that we've just come up with, replacing that with the from the bad habits. So spending those 15 minutes every morning, every evening, journaling or meditating or walking outside or having some 15 minutes of exercise. So you can imagine how much of a positive impact it is by choosing the good habit that we want to create over the bad habit that we've created. And we want to do all those things by making it easy. So remembering those 4 rules. What would your life look like in 5 years' time if you started creating healthy habits? That is exactly what my mission is, for myself. Most of those habits that I spoke about that I do at the beginning that were good ones, they're all that I've implemented this year after starting to learn about all these the positive impact that habits has. And I'm always finding new ones. And I know that in a few years' time, even in the next 6 months, my body will be better, my brain will be better, I'll feel more connected with myself, my self esteem will be better, my confidence will be better, my body will feel better, I'll feel more energized. All of those magical things I'll be feeling in the next 6 months' time and 5 years' time, even more so, because of the small habits I'm creating. So, if you enjoyed this masterclass and you feel like you want to feel motivated and inspired to take action and start creating habits to change your life and to make choices that are going to benefit you, I'm offering to book a free discovery call now, which is a 30-minute call with me, where we can discuss what you're struggling with and what your plans are for the future. I have a 6-week program, Lost to Found, which is my passion. This covers all areas of wellness, all areas of mindset, all areas of habit stacking, goal setting, and just really turning on that healing journey. Um, we can talk about this in the book in the free discovery call. So if you've enjoyed watching this and you're feeling inspired to take action, and you know that now is a time that you've really got to start taking action, prioritizing yourself, enough is enough, and you're ready to reclaim the life, reclaim the driver's seat in your life, and start taking action. So that's me done. Like I said at the beginning, if anyone's got any questions that they want to ask about any of the programs that I do or anything about habits and habit stacking, please reach out. I love chatting to everyone in my DMs. I love helping people, and I'm always up for meeting new people. So thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're feeling a little bit more self-aware, and inspired to take action on your life. Hope everyone has a good night or evening or morning wherever you are in the world. Thanks again.